Joining us now is Justin Duckham from Talk Radio News Service. He is here to tell us he was in the middle of the crowd last night when the curfew ended and the tear gas started flying, and I believe he was actually tear gassed himself. We'll hear more about it. Justin, are you with us?
Yes, I am. How are you doing, RJ?
I'm doing all right. How are you? How are you doing? Did you get tear gas last night? You feeling okay?
I did. Luckily, we had a kind of senior reporter over there who had been in these kind of situations before and was sort of guiding, some of the newbies throughout the night. And right before it went off, he advised us that if we did not have gas masks, to make sure that we had our noses and mouths covered with, anything we could find. I had a backup trash bag that I was using for a poncho since it was raining pretty heavily that night, and I was able to cover my mouth and nose with that. So I got, quite a bit in the eyes. I still kind of have the bloodshot stoner look going on today, but overall, I'm fine.
All right, and obviously, there's somebody last night is far less than fine. There was a shooting after the curfew was imposed. Is that, or was it before? What are the details on the shooting? What do we know about that?
Okay, so from what we learned from Ron Johnson last night, he gave a press conference following the police action. He told us that the police action was not actually in response to the violation of the curfew. He said that after the curfew had ended, police intelligence learned that there had been a number of armed individuals in the Red's Barbecue restaurant, which I'm sure your viewers of a live stream kind of recognize now since it's sort of a small strip. Who were
Right.
inside it as well as on the roof, and that apparently escalated the situation. Once that was, made available to police, according to Johnson, they decided that they had to disperse the crowd as quickly as possible, and that's when the tear gas flew. I believe after that is when the shooting took place, and when that happened, I had, been gassed, so I'd run for shelter behind a building across the street from the barbecue restaurant. And when we emerged to try to get back on the scene, that's when, we started to hear, at least one gunshot. I believe it may have actually been several, but the police are, not saying how many shots may have been fired. And so that happened probably about 5 to 10 minutes after the second tear gas canister had gone off.
So now we're approaching, I guess, 1 o'clock your time. And do we know yet who did the shooting or who was shot?
Last night we were trying to get some information over, who did the shooting. Was it a, police-involved shooting? Captain Johnson wouldn't, tell us that. He said he did not have that information. I've actually been on a plane for a good chunk of the day, so I haven't been able to check the headlines. But as of last night, we do not know who the suspect may have been. We do know that he was not, in fact, apprehended. The 7 arrests that did take place were for failure to disperse, so they were protesters, not the armed individuals in this situation. But we still don't really have much information, or we didn't, at least last night, have any information about the shooter or the victim, who police could not confirm was a protester or not.
Do we know for a fact that it was not the police who did the shooting?
We do not. Or at least we did not as of last night. When we tried to get that answer from Captain Johnson, he did not provide, a straightforward response to that.
We also heard, and it may be that you're not in a position to answer these, but we also heard that it was actually the crowd that got the injured person to some medical help. I don't know if you have any details.
Yes. There were protesters who ended up taking the individual to the nearby hospital where the wounded person is now in critical condition, or was at least as of last night, and that was confirmed by the police. And they said that they had actually established lines of communication with some of the protesters who decided to defy the curfew last night, and they coordinated with the police to get that person to safety.
Justin, when you were at the press conference with Captain Ron Johnson last night, right?
Yes, I was.
Do you get this? The picture that comes across through the media and Twitter and everything else is that there's kind of a civil war going on among these various police forces here, that there's significance, and the Department of Justice, that, the Department of Justice didn't want Ferguson police to release the video or information about the cigar, store incident, but they did it anyway. Captain Johnson said there wouldn't be tear gassing, and there was tear gassing, and so on. Is there sort of anarchy on the law enforcement side here, you think?
That's a very good question. From what we saw last night, and the lead up to the curfew being imposed, there was, apparently very little communication. I tried to, get confirmation over what exactly was happening at around 7 o'clock when they started blocking off West Florissant Avenue, and nobody that I spoke to could, give me a straight answer. And actually, one officer told me that, they have no idea what's going on. So, for all of the good work that Ron Johnson's doing, it doesn't necessarily seem like everybody's on the same page about this.
Right. That's what I was wondering. And now you were saying you're on an airplane, so you've gone home now?
Yeah. I was just scheduled to stay there until early this morning, since I have to be back in DC tomorrow, or today, or tomorrow. Yeah.
So somebody's relieved you, I guess, and taken your place, maybe, or?
No. We're a pretty small operation, so I just wanted to go down there and bring our listeners at least a little slice of the front line and what's happening down there. But we do not have another talk radio person down there. But potentially due to people like you and a lot of other people who are providing some great live streams, you guys are doing some great work, and you're really getting the sense of what it's like on the ground over there to the people who really need to know about it.
Well, thanks. And we're all going to have to work together on this to get this story out. So, Justin Duckham from Talk Radio News Service, thanks so much for joining us and giving us an update. And glad it wasn't any worse, and hope your eyes get all better soon.
Hey, thank you so much, RJ. Keep up the good work.
You bet.